Hey everyone, so I just watched The Conjuring, and let me tell you, it brought back some memories I thought I'd buried forever. I'm talking about the house my family lived in when I was 10 years old. A house that literally tried to kill us. Multiple times. And before you ask, no, this isn't some creative writing exercise. This actually happened, and honestly, I'm still not sure how we made it out alive. However, before we start, please like and subscribe my channel. As the conditions improve, the video quality will improve and you'll have better stories with better quality videos. Story start. Okay, so picture this, I'm 23 now, but back when I was 10. My family moved into this rental house. 4 of us, me, my 12-year-old brother, and my parents. We'd been cramped in a single room before this. So when we found this place on the top floor of an old inn building, we thought we'd hit the jackpot. The house came partially furnished, fancy wooden furniture that the landlady said we could throw out if it felt weird. But my mom was like, "Are you kidding? This stuff looks expensive." So we kept everything except this one bed that gave my mom the creeps. Looking back, maybe we should have listened to that gut feeling. From day one, something was off about this place. No sunlight, like, ever. The walls were covered in mold, the wooden floors were rotting in places. But here's the weird part, there were literally 0 bugs. Not even mosquitoes in the middle of summer. What kind of house has no insects whatsoever? That should have been our first clue to run. But we were kids, right? My brother and I were just excited to finally have our own room. With twin beds side by side. For the first week, everything seemed normal. We were happy. The nightmare begins. Then came that Wednesday night. I woke up around 3 a.m. to this tapping sound, tap, 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 like someone was drumming their fingers against the wall. Irregular, almost like a code. I figured it was my brother messing around, so I tried to go back to sleep. But then, guys, this is where it gets weird. I started feeling this intense cold sensation on my face. Not like air conditioning, more like someone had rubbed menthol all over my skin. The cold spread down to my arms, my waist, and I felt this overwhelming sense of suffocation. Next thing I know, someone's grabbing my shoulder and yanking me backward. I wake up to find myself standing at the window with my dad holding me. The lights are on, my brother's hiding behind my mom at the doorway, and everyone looks terrified. But here's the thing, I wasn't scared. I wasn't even curious about why everyone was freaking out. We all just went to sleep in my parents' room that night. The truth comes out. Years later, my brother finally told me what really happened that night. He'd woken up to find me standing at the window, tapping the glass with my finger, that sound I'd heard. When he asked what I was doing, I didn't respond. He thought I was hot, so he cracked the window open for me. That's when I stood on my tiptoes, stuck my head out the window, and started rotating my head, like, unnaturally, in directions heads aren't supposed to turn. My brother tried to pull me back, but I wouldn't budge. So he came around to look at my face, and, "Are you ready for this?" I was smiling, but not a normal smile. He said my mouth was stretched so wide. It looked like my face was going to split in half. He ran to get my parents, and when they came back, I was hanging halfway out the window like a freaking towel, about to fall 3 stories down. That's when my dad grabbed me. Things escalate. After that incident, we had about a week of minor, weird stuff, random banging sounds, water running when no one turned it on. You know, typical old house things. Or so we thought. But then the real horror show began. The table incident. Picture this scene, it's early evening, kind of dark. Because our house never got good sunlight. My dad's at work, my brother's at a friend's house. Just me and my mom in the living room. She's sitting on the couch doing my hair while I'm sitting cross-legged on this low wooden coffee table, watching TV. I keep telling my mom, the table's shaking underneath. She's like, "Oh, probably the neighbors downstairs," and keeps braiding my hair. But I keep complaining about it, so she suggests I just move to the couch. But I don't move. I just sit there, completely still, staring at the TV. My mom calls my name, touches my arm, and that's when she feels it through my body, thud. Like something was hitting the table from underneath. But only the table and I were shaking. The floor wasn't vibrating at all. My mom's thinking, okay, maybe there's a cat or something under there. So she bends down to look under this low wooden table. There's only about 8 centimeters of space underneath. She peeks under and sees something black moving back and forth. The second she looks, wham, something hits her hand. She screams, grabs me, and we back away from the table. Then, guys, this black shadow thing comes shooting out from under the table. Straight at my mom. She's swinging her arms in the air, screaming like crazy, and then she just runs, leaves me in the living room and crawls to the bedroom. She comes back with a stick and searches every inch of that room. But whatever that black thing was, it was gone. When she asked me where it went, apparently I just pointed back under the table. I don't remember any of this, by the way. The voice mimicking. 2 days later, and this part 1 do remember. Vividly, we're all in the living room when my dad goes to use the bathroom. Suddenly, we hear him yell, "You shouldn't laugh so loudly at night." My mom's confused, my brother says nothing, and I'm like, he said, "Don't be noisy at night." But none of us had been laughing or making noise. Then my dad comes out of the bathroom and, without even looking at us, walks straight into that small storage room next to the bathroom and slams the door shut. My brother immediately jumps up, runs to the door, and starts pounding on it, screaming, "Dad, Dad, it wasn't us, it wasn't me." He's crying, trying to turn the door handle, but it's locked from the inside. The room is completely silent. My mom tries to open the door too, but nothing. She's calling for my dad, pressing her ear to the door. My brother is sitting on the floor, sobbing. Finally, the door opens and my dad walks out like nothing happened. Sits on the couch with this blank expression. My mom's asking what happened, why he locked himself in there, why he didn't answer. My brother's still crying, saying, "Dad, that wasn't us in there, don't go in that room." Then my dad suddenly says, "We need to leave. Right now. Let's go sleep somewhere else tonight." We grabbed our wallets and literally ran out of that house. Like we were being chased. The horrifying truth. Outside, my dad asks my brother what he heard. And what my brother tells us. Guys, we went from walking to sprinting back to our car. My brother said that shortly after my dad went to the bathroom, he heard our voices, mine and his, coming from that storage room. We were laughing and calling, "Dad, Dad," over and over. When my dad yelled at us to be quiet, my brother tried to say, "We're in the living room." But then someone whispered in his ear from the empty space to his left, "Shush. Die." He froze, couldn't speak, and he watched our dad walk straight past us in the living room, like he couldn't see us, and go into that room, where our voices were still calling for him, laughing. My dad later said he remembered hearing us being loud, and thinking he'd come out to scold us. But he has no memory of actually walking into that room. He just came to, when he heard my mom calling him and my brother crying outside the door. The scariest part? When he tried to leave the room, he heard my brother's voice behind him, saying, "Dad." His legs felt like concrete, and he could barely force himself to walk out. He said he felt completely under some kind of spell, and the whole time, he could hear children's laughter coming from that room. The aftermath. My dad wanted to move immediately, but we couldn't just break our lease and find a new place overnight. So we had to stay in that house for another 6 months. 6 more months. And that was just the beginning, guys. What I've told you so far, that was literally the first 2 weeks. I know my writing isn't the best, and this story is all over the place. But I wanted to share this with you because, well, after watching The Conjuring, I realized our story was way scarier than any movie. Tomorrow I'll tell you about the rest of our time in that house. Trust me, it gets so much worse. But for now, I need to go to bed and try not to think about that place. Oh, and that house? It's gone now. They tore it down and built a road over it. Sometimes I drive past that spot and think, maybe that was for the best. Sweet dreams, everyone. And maybe check under your coffee tables tonight, just in case.